out on a property today, and looks like we had a bit of a backup situation over the weekend, but the homeowners got some family in the industry, so they were able to get out here and get them unclogged. Now, it can be scary when you go to flush your toilet and it doesn't want to go down, but if you're on septic, I want to reassure you that everything's going to be okay. You just got to do a few simple things. So let me walk you down the order of operations of what to do when your septic tank backs up. First things first, stop using water immediately. Don't use the sinks, don't use the toilets, don't try and take a shower. Don't do that. Stop using water immediately, because if it's starting to back up, or if the sewer lines are already filled up, you're gonna make a mess in your house. So the absolute first thing you're gonna want to do is stop using water. Second, you're gonna want to walk outside of your house and look for this. Okay, so we got it right here next to the house. Usually you can already see the toilet paper and stuff like that. You're gonna want to find the sewer clean out and get that popped open. You see how you can see the bottom of the pipe right there? This is the pipe that is leading to the septic tank. So all the wastewater from the home, when it drains, it's going to go through the sewer line and enter the septic tank. This is not where you pump out the septic tank from. But if you have a clog between the house and the septic, you unscrew this cap. You may need a pair of pliers, and it may be under pressure, and you may have a mess come out, but you'd rather it come out of this than fill up your bathtub. So you can see you got like some toilet paper, stuff like that around there. So that was the first step. So the first step, stop using water immediately. Second step, find that sewer clean out, get it popped open. And then the third step is find your septic tank, the inlet to be specific. So you can see we've got the inlet side lid opened up. So the family member came out here and did the right thing, found the septic tank, the inlet side lid. And when you pop this open, you're gonna see that clog if it's right here in the tank. So this tank actually doesn't even have an inlet baffle. It actually just plugged up even with that straight pipe. So what you're gonna wanna do, if it's a clogged inlet baffle, you can get a stick, something like that, poke a hole through it. It's gonna relieve the pressure and allow that sewer line to flow into the septic tank. Or if you've got a straight pipe, you may need to run a snake. If we have a straight pipe, it's good for us because we can just connect to it and pull vacuum, and that'll usually yank out whatever's stuck in that line, whether it's a wad of wipes, toilet paper, grease, anything like that. So since the inlet side is already dug up, I'm gonna go ahead and go towards the end of the tank, towards the outlet, and I'm gonna get that second lid uncovered. Now this very well may be a 1-compartment tank, but it's pretty shallow, so I should be able to just scrape the dirt off that outlet lid. I wish they were all this easy. Okay, we got the outline of the lid right here. Clean it up a little more. And this should be pretty easy to get off. I'm hoping. Don't let me speak too soon. All right, I may need to get my little pry bar. I'll be right back. All right, so we got my little chisel, my little pry bar. And remember, these outlet lids are usually the ones that want to put up a fight. Get my shadow out of the frame. Yeah, just remember, these outlet lids are usually the ones that want to put up a fight. All that gas eats away at the bottom of them. Really makes them stick, and it also makes them frill, which is kind of a bummer because then you run the risk of potentially breaking this thing trying to get it out. So we're going to be as gentle as possible. You see that? It's just rotting away. I'm gonna try and go at a couple different angles to try and keep this intact as much as possible. It does not want to cooperate. You know what? I'm gonna make an executive decision here and pump that inlet side down first and see if it's a single compartment tank. And if it is, we're just gonna leave this one alone. The tank isn't that long enough where I'd be concerned about leaving stuff around the edges. I'm gonna blend it up with the CrustBuster, so it shouldn't be an issue. But if it is a 2 compartment tank, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get this lifted up. And look at that. See, I'm telling you, these little wire handles, not the best idea, but this tank is probably put in around the 80s, something like that, if I had to guess, take a wild guess. So they didn't think about even getting these uncovered to pump out. So let's go ahead and work on that inlet side, get it pumped down, and then I'm gonna stick my camera down and verify whether or not it's a single compartment tank or a 2 compartment tank. So my method of pumping down the tank, I like to throw in my stinger at an angle. And then I like to go in there with the CrustBuster and blend it up. Let me go grab that right quick. And I know everyone loves when I use the CrustBuster, but I don't want you to, you know, get upset if your pumper doesn't use one. As long as they get the inside of the tank clean, that's what matters. I usually pump while that hose is pumping down and blending it up at the same time, but I just want to get a nice video. You know, some of this stuff I want it to look cool, so I really want to see what the inside of this tank looks like when I blend it up. You're gonna love when you see the inside of that. Oh my goodness. looks like we got some hair or possibly wipes wadded up in this. Usually you can shake them off, but if you don't catch it in time, it kind of wraps up around the shaft and the propellers. So I usually just get my sewer hook, and it's usually enough to just kind of pull on it, put some pressure on it. Don't pull it too hard, because then you'll get covered in poop. Ask me how I learned that. Yeah, that should usually be enough, and then it'll kind of pull itself off. All right, should be good enough. I'm pretty sure this is a one compartment tank too. I'll show you the inside, what it looks like, but this whole tank is spinning around, which is what you want. You see all the solids, the crust up top, the sludge at the bottom, mixed with the effluent when you blend that CrustBuster. Spins all around the tank, gets everything nicely mixed into a slurry. That way it's easy to pump out, and you make sure you get all these big chunks. I always say no turd left behind. And I'm pretty positive this is a single compartment tank now. Pro tip, it's always nice to have a spray nozzle. And it's always a good look when you bring your own water hose. That way you don't, you know, worry about getting fecal matter all over your customer's water hose. Kind of a weird thing when you have to, you know, tell people, hey, don't touch that water hose, it got poop on it. So I tried to avoid that at all costs. It's also a really good look, you know, when you're getting in there and rinsing off the bottom. Kind of gives your homeowner or your customer some extra reassurance that, you know, you did a thorough job and you actually care about what you're doing. I know we're pumping out poop, but I mean, take some pride in your work. I know we get a lot of compliments on how thorough we are. And those good compliments, they turn into referrals. You know, the neighbor, they're ever having an issue or they're thinking about getting it done, their neighbor's like, hey, call these guys. You know, they came out here, they got my tank dug up, they pumped it out, they even rinsed it off. Very thorough, quick, and polite. You know, you'll see in my video, I always say, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. A little bit of that goes a long way, especially in today's day and age. But all right, let's get a look inside this tank. I got it pumped down all the way to the concrete. The best thing I've learned to do is when you're getting to a job, take a picture of the before, take a picture of the after, and take a picture of your truck on site. That way there's no doubt that that tank got pumped. You got evidence. And just like that, you got it pumped down, rinsed off. So let's get these hoses put up and let's go empty the truck. So, what did we learn today? We learned what to do if you're on a septic system and it backs up. Let's go through those steps one more time. That way we get it in your brain for the next time something like that happens. First things first, Stop using water. Sinks, toilets, bathtubs, showers, everything. Stop using water. Second thing, find your sewer clean out. Find that little PVC cap sticking out, unscrew it with some pliers. Sometimes you may only need your hand, but be careful because it could be under pressure and it could pop up and you know you got dookie coming at you at a high speed. So be careful when you're doing that. Step 3, find the inlet to your septic tank. That's going to be the side of the septic tank that's closest towards the house. There should be a sanitary T-baffle. If you're in Texas, you can poke a hole through it with a stick, piece of rebar, anything. Just poke that hole and that's going to relieve that clog and let you use the septic tank in the meantime until you can call someone out to pump it. If it's a straight pipe, you may need to run a snake, or when your septic guy gets out there, they could pull vacuum or jet the line. Pulling vacuum could get a little risky. I'd honestly prefer jetting the line if you have a jetter. That way you can make sure you got that line cleared all the way. And just for good measure, it'd be also good to follow it up with the sewer camera just to see, you know, maybe there's a lingering issue that's causing you to clog up. Roots, cracked pipe, smashed pipe. We see a lot of Schedule 20 in our area. It was cheap and easy back in the day, but that soil in Texas moving around, those pipes are starting to look more like that. So of course clogs are going to happen nonstop until you get that pipe replaced with some good old Schedule 40. But yeah, it's not that difficult. I don't want you to freak out, and I also don't want you to go to the store and start, you know, pouring chemicals down the drain hoping that that's going to fix your problem. It's only going to make things worse because it's not going to do much. And then when your plumber or your septic guy gets out there, you run the risk of him getting injured by a chemical burn or something from that drain cleaner you're using. So just be careful with that. And yeah, the main thing is, you know, don't freak out. Just stay calm and follow those steps and everything should be just fine. I'm on my way right now to go empty the truck. So I got to fill out a manifest with how many gallons the septic system was. They're going to go and get a sample to test the pH. They want the pH pretty close to 7, neutral. They don't want any wacky stuff being emptied into their wastewater treatment plant and causing things to malfunction. So I'm going to follow the rules and make sure we have a place to dump. And then pretty easy, you hook up a hose, open the valve, and it all empties out to where the city sewer runs to. So follow me as we go do that right now. So we're at the wastewater treatment plant. Just handed the manifest to the folks over here operating it. And let me give you a little tour and kind of explain what we're doing here. All right, so we've got a 4-inch hose that's gonna hook up to our discharge valve. And then we have this nice, beautiful automated bar screen. So what that is it's basically a rake over the grate. So you can see where our hose drops in, it ties in. So our wastewater from the pump truck is going to go right along with the sewage that is coming from the city sewer lines. So they're all going to get treated the same. We're kind of like the middleman. So if you have a septic tank, you're not connected to the city sewer, but you know, whenever it needs pumping, we're going to pump it out. We're going to bring it to the wastewater treatment plant, introduce it to the city's sewage where it's going to follow the same treatment process. So everything's going to come out of the hose, drop down, enter that stream of wastewater, and it's going to go against a grate. So what that grate is going to do is it's going to catch wipes, feminine products, anything that could possibly miss with the wastewater treatment process. We're trying to get as many of the solids out as possible, kind of filter it all out before you get to the treatment of the wastewater. That way by the time it's treated, you get all the solids out, you get all the pathogens out, and then you can reintroduce it. So you see that bar screen's going to come all the way up and empty into the trash. That's why I tell people, if you're using wipes, you may as well just throw it away because it's going to end up in the trash anyway. So let's get this hose hooked up, open up that valve, and empty our truck. Make sure you got the cam lock ears, and then there you go. If you're new to pumping, I'm gonna give you a little hint. I wish I would have known when I first started. If you open up this valve and nothing is coming out, wait a second. What you're gonna wanna do is leave that valve open, go over to your PTO, turn it on, and pull vacuum. Having this valve open and nothing coming out, that means you've got some sort of settling or something that's blocking that valve, so nothing's gonna come out. Now, don't do what I did the first time and, you know, get a rake and try and poke it. No, what you're gonna wanna do, you're gonna go to your truck, turn on the PTO, pull vacuum, and it's gonna pull out whatever is kind of stopping up anything from exiting the discharge valve. So pull vacuum, and then your truck will kind of start bouncing around, and turn the PTO off, put your pump in neutral, and it should exit. Now, if you're pulling vacuum and nothing is coming out, so what you may have to do, you may have to do that. You may have to poke, you know, with a rake, but make sure you have it on vacuum while you do that, because what's gonna happen if you don't have it on vacuum and you poke through that clog, it's all gonna come pouring out. But if your truck is on vacuum and you poke that hole, it's gonna suck it right in. So just a word of advice. So you can see, got our wastewater coming out. And let's go see what that bar screen's got. Some wipes. Oh, yummy. Look at that wad of wipes. It's got a float, so if there's something blocking that grate, it's going to automatically kick on that bar screen to come down and rake out whatever is stuck. The main reason, if you just have a ton of wipes flowing through, it's going to clog up that screen and it's going to cause everything to overflow. So on an operation like this, where they're treating hundreds of thousands of gallons of wastewater a day, you've got to have this type of equipment, or else you're going to have a mess. So that does it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you smash that like button. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. That'll let you know when I upload a new video. I hope you enjoyed the process of, you know, walking through what to do in a situation where your septic tank's backing up, and I hope you enjoyed my little visit to the wastewater treatment plant. As always, I appreciate y'all watching, and remember, smells like money. Y'all take care.